Xavier High School Acceptable Use Policy. What we're going to be presenting here is the Xavier High School Acceptable Use Policy and give a brief overview of what an acceptable use policy includes. A brief overview of an acceptable use policy gives the policies and procedures set forth for teachers, students, and parents when using the computers and internet privileges at Xavier High School. It details the consequences of any violation if the acceptable use policy is broken. It details the use of computers, electronic information, and computer networks for the essential use of research, instruction, and administration for educational purposes. Acceptable use policies are put in place within the school districts to have an internet safety policy, as well as the uses of technological devices for educational purposes. And here, we've addressed some safety policies for internet safety. The access by minors to inappropriate matter on the internet. The safety and security of minors when using electronic mail, chat rooms, and other forms of direct electronic communications. Unauthorized access, including so-called hijacking and other unlawful activities by minors online, unauthorized disclosure, use, and dissemination of personal information regarding minors, and restricting minors' access to materials harmful for them, particularly obscene images. Ways that an acceptable use policy can be communicated would be to host a back-to-school night where teachers, parents, and students will meet. It will give them an opportunity to review the acceptable use policy, ask questions, and communicate. Another way would be to set up social networking for the classrooms, inviting the students' parents to join the page and interact. This is an opportunity to keep parents up to date not only on their child's progress, but posting a link to the acceptable use policy, which gives them up-to-date, accurate, and effective information. Along with the acceptable use policy will be a signature page, which requires the signature of the teachers, students, and parents, letting them know the rules and regulation, and their signature is required that they understand this information and all the rules and regulations set forth. Implementing an acceptable use policy and promoting digital citizenship. Keep your kids safe online. In order to implement the acceptable use policy, that policy needs to be enforced consistently. It needs to be reviewed and updated regularly to address any updated information or concerns that needs to be included that all parties are made aware of. To ensure that the information technology team has all the technical solutions addressed in the best interest of Xavier High School, it's important that the teachers, students, and parents are educated on why the acceptable use policy is a viable part of using technology for educational purposes, and that they must use extreme caution when operating the computers and using the internet. The consequences are any teacher found to have violated the acceptable use policy may be subject to disciplinary action up to and including termination of employment. Any students will be prohibited from using the school computers, and the student parent will be responsible for the cost of recovering and or reconstructing damaged software and or repairing or replacing damaged hardware systems. When promoting digital citizenship, the element we're looking for is a safe, healthy, legal, and ethical use. Here we have some dramatizations of what is not acceptable. Access is denied, websites are blocked, and then you have passwords, the key to information security. Always keep your passwords safe. Do not share your accounts. The transmission of malicious programs into the network server causes viruses, Trojan horses, email bombs, etc. is prohibited. Circumventing user authentication or security of any host, network, or account, and engaging in any blogging that may be harmful or tarnish the image, reputation, and or goodwill of Xavier High School. Thank you for joining and listening to Xavier High School Acceptable Use Policy. If there are any questions or concerns, you can contact Xavier High School and also reference the link for Xavier High School Acceptable Use Policy. Have a good day.